Can you see yourself living on another planet? Elon Musk can. Exploring the vast reaches of space and hopping between planets like a character from Star Wars has been the dream of many over the centuries. But up to this point, our greatest achievement was landing on the moon. Now, 44 years after the last moon landing, we have the capabilities and the right people to look further. With innovations from SpaceX, humans will travel farther than ever before and build a colony on Mars within the next 40 to 100 years. It all starts with the rocket. Musk plans to build, with his company SpaceX, plans to build a rocket that is 200 feet tall and will reach a speed of 5,374 miles per hour. It is much bigger than anything that has ever been built by NASA, but the technology to make it is operational. After being launched, the crew capsule would be left in orbit. The boosters that were used for the capsules would be landed back on Earth and sent off again with a fuel tank for the trip to Mars. During the trip, the rocket would use solar panels to keep up the fuel reserves. SpaceX imagines that hundreds of these capsules would be launched towards Mars once planetary alignment favors the trip. Also, they want to give people the option of returning to Earth, so these capsules would be reusable. SpaceX is different than NASA. People wonder why we haven't even been back to the moon or why manned missions into space are so few. NASA is a government agency, which means that they need to be as safe as possible. Large-scale missions like these obviously put the explorers in a significant amount of danger. Also, when it comes to funding, they receive a significant amount of criticism because many taxpayers would rather put their tax dollars elsewhere, seeing that colonizing Mars isn't essential to our survival of the human race in the short term. On the other hand, SpaceX is a private company, so they can take many more risks than NASA ever could. This gives them flexibility to be ambitious with their goals. Also, Elon Musk is worth about $12 billion, giving him significant resources for funding the trip. The goal of SpaceX is to make the cost of the trip affordable at about $200,000. This is comparable to the average price of a home in the United States. There's a lot of optimism behind Elon Musk and his goals to colonize Mars, but there's also a fair share of setbacks that need to be overcome before anyone sets foot on the red planet. First of all, bringing enough people to Mars would require hundreds of capsules to be sent into space. Once they made it to Mars, they'd have to land these capsules, much heavier than any rover that has ever been landed there before, in a very thin atmosphere, much thinner than Earth. Also, SpaceX has yet to develop the technology to build the rockets large enough. A step towards building this rocket was made in the announcement of Falcon Heavy, but it has been delayed for years, and it will take a big step for SpaceX to be ready to send people to Mars. Overall, though, it seems very likely that either within our lifetime or within our kids' lifetimes, human beings will be walking around, growing, building, living life on the red planet. If we make it there, we would become an interplanetary species. This would be a monumental achievement because if the Earth ever experienced an extinction event, we would be able to persist. It will take innovation and determination to reach these goals. Technology needs to be brought to speed, and costs need to come down. Working with governments will cause pooling of resources that would help develop and further the goals of SpaceX. When resources are put together, human beings may find themselves on Mars one day.